Hey everyone, this is Alan Schimmel, DevOps.com, DevOps TV, and we're here at DOES 17 at our broadcast center on the at the show at the Hilton Union Square. I'm joined by a featured speaker at this year's DOES from Westpac. It's Dawie Olivier.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Not too bad.
Good try.
We tried. Say it right for our audience, though.
My name is Dawie Olivier.
Olivier. Okay, Dawie, you're here at Westpac, and you have a really great title, at least, of your talk. We'll see how. I'm sure the talk's good too, but it's sort of how Agile ruined my life.
That's right.
And why don't you give us a little bit of background? First of all, where did you come up with that name?
Yeah, not too long ago, after about 2 years of using the dreaded transformation word journey, one of my team put a slide up unbidden, and that was the title of his slide, How Agile. And he actually crossed out Dawie and wrote Agile ruined my life. And it was the story of how his entire context had changed from being a waterfall practitioner living in his box to where today there are no boxes and there are no boundaries.
Right.
And that's a very uncomfortable journey, and hence the title of the slide.
Yep. So, and Dawie, just in speaking off camera earlier, we were talking, and you were telling me that really, the driving force between for DevOps adoption at Westpac wasn't the usual stuff. It was more you had a team that was miserable in a miserable place to work kind of environment.
Yeah.
And they just weren't having fun, and we were looking for something that kind of makes life better for everyone.
Yeah, that's right. And reflecting on the three bullets that Gene put up in his opening talk this morning, that was the last of the three bullets is, improving life for people who live in the trenches. And for us, we had all the other enterprise problems, slow releases, expensive IT, lack of value creation, all of those existed. But the burning platform was the fact that our teams came back and basically told us outright how miserable they were. In fact, at my first town hall I had with a team right at the end of the session, I was about 2 months in, someone put up his hand and said, Dawie, I'd like to know how long your contract is, which is a little bit confrontational, but a very clear indicator that our problem was not necessarily technical to start with.
No, doesn't sound it at all.
Yeah.
And so, what have you done to improve that? How have you improved that?
So we went through a process of firstly identifying that we were miserable. We went through you could essentially call it a mass scale chartering process of redefining what a great day at work could feel like. And then we, piece by piece, introduced the different methods and techniques that allow people to feel that aspiration on a daily basis. And where we are today is a markedly different place. I again think of some of the metrics that the CSG team put up on the board not too long ago. And our metrics look very, very similar from a delivery point of view, from a stability point of view. But most importantly, we've had a huge improvement in engagement. So people love being there and have become real advocates of our organization.
That's great. That is great. But you're saying you haven't seen huge improvement in...
No, we have.
Oh, you have?
No, we definitely have. So we've had a nearly 8-fold improvement in reliability. We've had a nearly 50% improvement in efficiency. Unlocked very real and very new value.
That's
for
fantastic.
Our business.
And so, Dawie, I forgot to ask you this. What's your position at Westpac?
I'm the CIO.
Your CIO.
Yeah, so if it's broken, it's typically my fault.
Yep.
And if we're winning, then as long as we're
it's
winning
yours
together.
too, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's how that goes.
We built it, and it's a pleasure.
We built it, and I broke it.
That's right. Pretty much.
But that being said, how important was it for you, as the CIO, to deliver sort of this top-down support for this initiative? It wouldn't be possible without that support.
Yeah, there are a number of very specific leadership actions that you need to take, and one of them is to be very clear on the amount of permission that you're giving, which is all of it, and being very clear on the boundaries that will no longer be tolerated, such as the boundaries between dev and ops. Mainly because those are very deeply entrenched and deeply held beliefs that all leadership should come from the top, all permission should come from the top, and that boundaries are sacrosanct. And those both are anti-patterns for where we were trying to get to.
Got it. Makes sense. And, our audience, probably everyone out here is watching this saying, I'd love to talk at a show like DOES and tell them our story. Why don't you share with our audience, if you can, a little bit, how did you come to be here? How did you become a speaker, it does.
Yeah, so the Westpac story is a nearly 3-year-old story now. So I've had the privilege of telling my team's story on a number of different occasions. And we run a very large incremental session once a quarter where we invite virtually anyone who wants to come and watch us groom our backlogs to come and play. And one of them was Rob English, and Rob actually,
IT skeptic.
yeah. So he was very keen to hear that Westpac story told on the bigger stage. So here I am.
Very good. Well, listen. First of all, thank you for sharing your story.
Sure.
Because just a little quick background. I remember being I started an info security firm years and years ago, and went to a CIO one time. This was before CISOs were in vogue. CIO was running security, and we said, you have your security team working on weekends, looking at firewall logs. There's no reason for someone to be in on a weekend looking at firewall. We have so many tools that you can use, not even our own. I'll recommend other people's tools if you don't like ours, but why would you want to do that to your people? The CIO looked at me in the face. It was at a large bank. And he said, we pay our security people by the week, not by the hour. I don't care if they work weekends.
Oh, nice.
And I thought to myself,
happy to be here.
What a miserable place to work.
Wow.
So to hear organizational stories like this where they say, we want to tangibly improve, is a beautiful thing.
All change starts with people.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Anyway, thanks for telling your story. Thanks for being here with us on DevOps TV.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
And we'll be looking forward to your presentation here.
Thank you.
All right. Dawie Olivier. Olivier.
There we go.
We're going to try it.
Nicely
I get
done.
it right. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
This is Alan Schimmel for DevOps TV, DevOps.com at Does 17.